Everyone, welcome to All In, All United. Your boy Reem, Nico, and we have Fire Marshal on the inside, a born
Yeah,
and
man.
bred true to the heart Man United fan. He was on one of our reviews some time ago, but welcome. Say something to the people now.
Ah, boy. Season come, season go. Pressure, boy. Pressure. Let look at you tonight. Everybody know me. Let you get straight to it.
All right. So, Nico, any comments before we get started?
Um, Tough than the office. But for what we see, it should have been expected.
Yeah. So, fellas, this is the start of a new season, and it seems as though nothing is changing. And when I say nothing changing, I'm not talking about necessarily the team, but in terms of the kind of support that the manager need to take the team to the next level. I think Oli exceeded expectations last season in finishing third place. And we were expecting that that would have been enough to convince the board to support him in the transfer market. And we're seeing where Liverpool strengthening in quality and in depth. We see Chelsea doing madness. Everton looking like a prime top four team right now. Who are again doing business solid? Well,
Arsenal, Arsenal.
Arsenal, Tottenham announced Bale and Regulon today. So we see where teams are wrong. Us even Wolves, Nico and Callum, Wolves and all starting to up the game, and we still here, and I don't know what it is going on at the board level to get the manager the kind of backing to better third place.
You
Come
have
this
a point
season.
because down to the PNM when they transfer market and bringing Gypsy, so I don't know what going to be. It reached that point. Right, that big signing. You
Hmm.
know, just to jump on what you're saying, Reem, is a discussion I've been having with people right now. I'm not even worrying about the on-field performances because I think we need to let Ed Woodward had a step down, step aside, move to a different part of management and get somebody who, quite frankly, will do a better job than him because as a true lover of the club, a real professional, if you see, even if he thinks he's doing the best job he can do, but you see your best efforts and um, giving dividends, you need to step aside, and I think he needs to step aside at this point in time. I don't care about Jason Sancho. I want to see who they bring in to be the director of football.
But Callum, to be fair to or if you look at it openly, right? You think Edward, what does he want to blame by? Or
Yes.
or you think the Glazers is the ones that not splashing the cash? Because I feel that way the issue is, I feel the
No,
issues is
I
the
wouldn't say not splashing the cash because if you look around the market, other teams are buying players in and around the prices. I mean, to be fair, there is a literally there appears to be the Manchester United price there. If a player is valued, let me say $50 million, when Manchester United goes to the player, clubs are calling 70 million. It seems to be the Manchester United price. But the reason why clubs are saying that because the couple of buys we do make, we are paying over and for some mediocre players. So the word is out there is blowing the water. Hey, Manchester United coming to sell this player at an inflated amount and whole. So we need to get
I
somebody
think
in there who can negotiate and get the job done.
I think the Glazers don't look at Manchester United as a sporting brand, but as a commercial brand. You know,
They probably do, but I
and as
disagree
long as
because
the
they have
money
spent
continue to
hundreds of
come in
millions of
as it's
dollars.
coming in, as long as the money is continue to come in as it's coming in, and with Manchester United, even with us languishing at 6 to 7, the money will be coming in the same way as if maybe if we second or first, right?
When
And
the money
the
is
same
spending
kind
it,
of money.
the money is spending, but how it's spending, you know what I mean? So
Nah,
we need to ask ourselves
I think we needed to spend some money in this transfer window
so I'm
to
agreeing.
as Reem was saying, to back Oli. You know what I mean? You would have more or less get milk out of stone over the last season to get us started. And now was time, to really show that investment in him and in the team. And I think he's not getting that back in.
Well,
And I don't think is at Ed Woodward level. I don't think is higher than that.
All right, so
well,
let me just before I continue, Callum, let me just get some of the
yeah,
comments inside because we have some guys following me, right? Gregory, good night, man. Thanks for
yeah,
joining.
I'm agreeing.
He's saying, you know what they say, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Well, we're hoping that some things change and change for the better as far as Man United concerned. Yes, he said the problem with this is the board is okay with finishing third once it don't affect their pockets. And I think Nico will say the same thing. Get on,
Yeah.
thanks for joining, bro. He said even if we change director, we still need Oli to select the right team. We will get to the team selection just now. Get on, thanks for your comment, bro. Gregory also said it's a combination of both. Woodward jumping when the Glazers talk. I think it's them paying the salary, yeah. And
Yeah, but
go ahead, Callum.
his job title is director of football, right? And
Chief
the
exec.
Glazers and them are not football as they're not doing that job. So when they bring you in, like if you have a business and you bring in a manager, his job is to get done. You understand? And if I Ed Wood, if it is not get his job, yes, somebody else do it. So you are because that's why I'm blaming him. Because if he's a manager,
You're watching this in a sporting right direction. Ed Woodward and the Glazers is not looking at it this way. They
But
look at it financial.
But Nico, even if I could,
That is his portfolio, you know.
Yeah,
Ed Woodward know nothing about sports, you know.
all right, tomorrow between what I was talking about, I'm gonna say what you're saying, right?
It's similar like we say Van der Sar at Ajax, right? He know about sport and he know what the club would want. He know how to manage in terms of managing and gaining players and the quality of players and supporting your manager, you know, with the signings and all that. But Edward would have they just care about how the finances running.
Yeah, but
you know we are no longer the number one team in the world in terms of the richest club in the world. Right? I'm not talking about in terms of the financial backing from the owners. I mean in terms of as a commercial entity.
we in
So
top 10.
yeah, so I'm talking about football. We're talking about football.
Oh,
We are no longer the number one football team in the world again in terms of finances, right? So what we need to do is get back there. So if your job is the director of football and your job is to see about the money, if you care about the money, you will care about results because there's a correlation between results, championships, so and so, and marketing, everything goes hand in hand. And the direction we are headed, if we continue to have these mediocre results, we'll not be able to continue growing our brand. Because as you would know, players were bought by other clubs like Beckham and Robinho, just for simply for jersey sales because of who they were and what they did for the brand. Now our brand is going down, so we have to be careful about that.
Yeah, but let me just jump in on something that Nico was saying earlier. And I think we really had to get perspective, right? I think this is just my personal opinion as well. I think Edward Wood, in his capacity, he is the link between the board, the owners, and the foot. So he's the link between the commercial and the footballing aspects of the club, right? I think he won the best for the club, and he could only go as far as the owners who are the ones writing and signing the checks could go. You understand? So you're talking about a director of football. That is not who Edward Wood is. We do not have a director of football. And even if we were to bring in a director of football, would that director of football be given the freedom to make the decisions that will benefit the footballing aspect of the club? Because as Nico rightly said just now, it would seem that our owners are just interested in the commercial and the business aspect of Manchester United, the brand, rather than Manchester United, the football club. And that is where we're suffering. That's where we're suffering. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna get some Nicholas saying your song kind of soft by the way, especially Reem. All right, let me see if I could fix that. Guys, check your audio and
Now are you coming through loud and clear on my end? I don't know if his volume down or whatever, but coming through loud and clear on my end.
all right. So we talk about I hope it's tell me if it's sounding better, Nicholas. Right now, so earlier, I think we spent enough time talking about the top level management of the club, and we understand that they're not doing it. If we look at other clubs, they're not doing it right, you know. But I mean, where management, the football aspect could be managed and controlled, is where Oli comes in. So I do think that Oli had enough quality in the team to win the game today and play better. So let me get on the game today. What was Oli's views on the game today, guys? Team selection. Let me go.
Team selection for me, I was more or less I kind of picked that team. I didn't put on this predicted 11. I didn't put James, but I had we spoke about thought that James would have played because of the game time he would have gotten for Wales, right? And he did well more or less for Wales. So I was seeing him playing. I don't think he did himself any justice though. McTominay also was another player that I said would have been in the team because he looked fairly good against Aston Villa. I think he didn't do himself any harm either today. Also, I think he did pretty well today. But I think that was the whole genesis of the issues is match fitness today. I think the entire team was flat. I think it was 30 days ago was our last competitive game. 2 weeks ago we would have started training. We didn't have the full team to train with at all, right? Whereas today, Crystal Palace would have played 4 friendlies, right? 3 competitive fixtures. So they were definitely sharper than us. They were stronger. They were fitter. And to me, they deserve their victory. I don't think I really couldn't give, and even the first Mensah playing today, I didn't find he do that bad. He did that bad. So again, I couldn't really blame Oli with the team selection. I think it's just match fitness and game time and competitive games would have had really cost us today. And I think Crystal Palace deserved the victory.
Well, I am not going to talk about team selection because once you're playing for Manchester United, you're supposed to be quote unquote a big player, professional. So I'm not going to get into that. All who on the field are capable footballers. They're supposed to be capable footballers. In terms of quality, we cannot be angry because Lindelof didn't do anything unusual. This is how he plays. We know his limitations because all 3 goals, he had a hand in it. And especially the second one, literally had a hand in it. The first goal, he was weak, literally going on the wing, wasn't aggressive. The second one was the handball. The third one, Zaha told him like he wasn't there passing like a full maxi on the highway. So
weak again, yeah.
In terms of quality, we carry not Lindelof anymore because he's just not up to it. I'm sorry. And the problem with Lindelof is this. Ideally, you would like within your centre back pairing, you want as we call a woodcutter, a butcher. I want a ball player. And our ball player is supposed to be Lindelof because quite clearly Maguire is the butcher, as they call him, the woodcutter. But actually Maguire looking like the ball handler. Lindelof isn't even getting that quality and he's too soft. So let's not even talk about him. In terms of match fitness, Nicholas, I want to say no. Remember, we played straight into the UEFA semi-finals. Just 3 weeks we haven't been playing on the field competitively. 3 weeks, we don't lose form in 3 weeks and we've been playing practice matches, we've been training. So I'm not accepting our excuse. As a matter of fact, we needed some rest because we couldn't go and play like that. So, and our guys played international games. What are them? So when you tell me match fitness, no. As you rightly said, James did for Wales and did well. So all these guys have been played. So don't tell me match fitness.
Even if you look at PSG results when they just came back, they lost 2 on the bounce. So which could have been fatigue, and even match rhythm, because in terms of friendly and building up a season, I don't think teams had that, and players need rest. I don't think.
Well, you said match fitness. Well, our players been playing, but also Crystal Palace have international. They've been playing. So right now in football, I don't take match fitness as no excuse because all these players have been engaged regularly if it's at club or international levels. So you know what? Nah. Sorry, I ain't taking that one. No, I look at the team. Football have 4 moments, right? You have what you do in possession, what you do out of possession. You transition from defense to attack and transition from attack to defense. And all 4 aspects of the game, we were slow. Pace was our issue. It wasn't so much physical pace, but quickness of mind. So this is showing where our manager, Oli, even though he knows what he wants to do, because you can clearly see the team has a plan now, a pattern of play, our execution is lacking because all the goals that we conceded is when we lost the ball and we were facing the goal running back. Our players were making a transition too slow because the first goal, Lindelof wasn't able to cover the cross, and then the wing back, which would have been sure, he didn't cover the ground in time. And it was not about not having speed, it was a matter of thought. The second goal again, once again, as you know, when you're fit and you're sharp, You're the higher, as you see, like Evra, one of my favorite Manchester United defenders all time. Point time you get the penalty with him, his hand goes behind his back. Once again, I just quickness of thought. The third goal and all. We lost the ball again, quick counter. When we was played into Zaha, the left again was almost relaxed. So the team, even in attacked, when this guy came off the bench, Greenwood, he get a open goal, open header. I don't care what you're telling me, use a professional. They even put on target. So once again, even if you look at our passer play, Pogba has walked the whole game. Bruno, everybody was walking. But I'm not saying physical, I'm saying mental. So our coach needs to find a way. If you want to be a big club, a big team, you have to play more games than everybody else, because look at the glorious 98 team. They played the most games in the world and they beat everybody. And when we came back in 99, they continue beating people, because why? We had quality, not just quality. Bro, the manager was able to get the best out of it. You got to rotate the team more, whatever you need to do, tell them, whatever you need to put in training. So don't tell them about match fitness. Sorry, I ain't taking that.
All right. Let me just get some comments, right? Because we have some comments coming fast and furious here.
Yeah, man, bring them.
Simeon saying, how you don't sign a centre back? How if you serious?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we passed that. Nicholas saying, I'm just passing through to say, bless up, fellas. I can't make any more Manchester United big up. Take any more Manchester United big up. we know it was hard. It was hard for me to even do the review today. Yes, okay, we was there. Simeon saying that team lost soon as the lineup was announced. Teams know how to beat our best team. That team out there was not our best. Nicholas saying Fosu looked good at right back. I'm glad he's gotten the call up. Kevin Stevens, good night. Thanks for joining. He said that good night and that game was depressing. Nicholas was saying Maguire was the invisible man most of the game. Jeez, Lindelof made mistakes, but at least he showed up.
He showed up. He was targeted. I think we need to look at that. The teams are targeting Lindelof. It's clear.
Exactly. They're targeting the both centre backs. As long as I isolate any one of the centre backs, they know that
it's clear. But Maguire is a little better at one-on-one. So you look like he was isolating the game. But remember, one of our centre backs had a quiet game. That is not his fault. And don't say, well, he had a quiet game. He can't get into the game. You understand? He's reactive, not proactive.
Hey, Jody, welcome, man. Thanks for joining. Well, here it is, right? My thing on the team selection, I always say, it have certain teams that will come and play counter-attacking football, and it have some teams in the league that know how to possess the ball and build from the back, and that's how they play the football. And Crystal Palace is not one of those teams. So for me, I understand that's the point Nicholas was making in terms of, I wouldn't say fitness, but I would more say sharpness, right? But at the end of the day, I would have started like Greenwood, because a low block team, you need fellas with a little more guile who comfortable on the ball. Daniel James is not that. No, we spoke about the games leading up to this game, and I was telling Nicole last review that even against when he was playing for Wales, he was still not really performing at the level that we would expect him to perform at, So I was actually very, very surprised Ollie went with Daniel James. And if we were to even look at last season, the games where Daniel James thrived with is where he had space in the back to run into, teams that did not sit back. So that was one where I thought Ollie got it wrong, right? Now, Callum talk about, once he played for Man United, at the level. I beg to differ, because we see where plenty people not up to levels, right?
You're supposed to be. You're supposed to be.
Right. The next thing, McTominay. I'll be honest with you. You want people who could play football. I think we had to get away from this mentality where you are a bruiser and you want fellas who will get grit and who will dirty the pants. I want fellas who could play football. I find Fred in the last game against Sevilla in terms of, helping the momentum, speeding up the football, because somebody mentioned before, I don't know if it's Nicole Callum, about how slow the transitions were. You all notice how quick Fred has released the ball, how quick Fred has speed up the football. Why does Fred didn't start today? You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about the space between last season and this season. It wasn't that far people were training and people were doing work private home. You know, so don't tell me that because we wasn't together, these fellas is professionals, you know. So it have plenty for me, in my opinion, about the team selection that was off today. Nico, our next thing, but we will get to that. What going on with Rashford? You understand? I know all this saying this and all this saying that. What going on with Rashford? Anyway, so my thing is, all you got the team selection wrong. You understand what I'm saying? I can't fault him for going with Bailly and Lindelof, even though we know that partnership would not
Bailly
work.
saying.
I mean Lindelof and Maguire, sorry.
At least with Bailly somebody that had a regular foot break or be bleeding us, or he
Right,
the top. That was love about that boy, innit?
But
Yeah,
the thing about it is, you could see that Lindelof and Maguire is Ollie's trusted peer, right? Now that we have a fully fit
I
Bailly,
think I could change it.
right?
I think I could change.
Now that we have a fully fit Bailly, I think that could change now because Lindelof didn't cover himself in any kind of glory today, and we know
No,
as we talked before, the 80 million defender not gonna get dropped by your captain, right, Callum?
no, well, you know, being really a psychological thing, eh? You have certain players, either you're playing them or you're getting rid of them. Now, Bailly, he is a squad player, no argument about that. Even though I love his passion, he's too much of as I call them, woodcutter. We can't have two woodcutters on the field. We need a centre back pairing with one woodcutter and one ball handler. Example, our classic pairing of we were putting and Vidic. Vidic was the woodcutter. You know, and we were putting was our Rose Red pick up the ball and play because of the modern football where one goalkeepers who could handle the ball on the foot. You also had to be the goal from goalkeeper into centre backs who could play. Well, Lindelof is the one in our team who's supposed to be the one to play. He can play now, but he's too soft, way too soft. You know, so I'm sorry, but Lindelof have to go. I would sell him. Well, at least I would get in another centre back who could play, and I would sell Lindelof because he's a luxury. If you can't play him as a full time, you know, don't make no sense keeping him around because we have people like
Mengi.
Bailly, and we still have what forgive me for saying this, we have to the Jones, you know what I mean?
Nah, Callum,
We have Mengi, we have Tunzebe, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you would them first.
But at some point, I would sell Phil Jones. I would sell what his name is, Lindelof. I would get rid of them because Lindelof is ultimately not the answer. Listen, I have a single mind approach to Manchester United, the best club in the world, on and off the pitch, number one. And if you want to be number one team in the world, we need the best star players. Lindelof have to go. Luke Shaw have to go. We need to find a credible solution to our defensive midfield. Because I hear about Fred. Until I can see Fred with paper and see where Fred born, I don't believe Fred from Brazil. I don't care what you tell me. I had to go back in the village. I want to be the elders and I just say, yes, he's a Brazilian. I don't believe that. Never believe he's a Brazilian. Don't do me that. Yeah, you know, Fred has, I check it, you know, Fred has 6 or 7 international caps, all on that Dunga.
Yeah.
So you understand what going on there. So let's move on from that.
All right. So let me get some comments in, right? So Jody saying United needed a leader on the field.
Yes, correct.
Clearly there was no one showing leadership on the field. That's so correct, boy.
But yeah, absolutely correct.
We just had a man running around with an armband. Dwayne Mo, thanks for joining, bro. Good night, brothers. United all the way still. Yeah, true.
No doubt about United for life.
And Simeon is saying anytime Oli change his best lineup, you see an instant drop off. Fred should have played after a severe game. And we talk about the drop off in quality. We talk about the drop off in quality from the first team to the rest. But Callum, we know what you say about Fred just now. But as far as I'm concerned, in terms of quicker transitions, he's the best we have.
But again, as we were saying, Reams, let me say upgrade like a Thiago. You would have seen what Callum talking about what we need now. You know, exactly. So that is what we need. We don't need we don't need Fred. You know what I mean? We need a Thiago. Right? If we want to be
this is what you buy change. Better we take some licks in transfer market and overpay for about 4 or 5 players. And once we get those 4 or 5 overpriced players in, then we can start to settle off and build around them. Because taking a picture of Jose book. When Jose came to Chelsea,
Jose?
Listen me first. Not I want to coach me, but I mean what he built on final team. And that was we need a proper goalkeeper. I still not going against De Gea, even though he was very shaky today. But I'll always say De Gea gave me so much years of faithful. So where he was the player he's in for 4 and 5 years, and taking some strain with him. But we are Dean Henderson to back him up. So if we don't worry about that. The centre back pair, we need somebody to join Maguire. No doubt about it. We need a proper defensive midfielder. Fred is not the answer. And we need a 20 plus goal scorer every season in our forward line. If you're go and buy Kane, if you're go and take Vardy for a season and a half and all, we are supposed to go behind Aubameyang. But all of I love my front three of Martial, my cousin Martial, of course, Rashford and Greenwood. Let's be real. If we want to be the number one team in the world, I'm sorry, all of I love them, good youths. They are not the answer for Manchester United being the three of them as they are good players. They are not great players. I want great players.
Callum, I go challenge you on that, but let me get some comments in, right?
Right.
We know Nicholas Ramdas have a little Maguire agenda, right? So he's saying Lindelof has been the Iceman all the way up until we buy Slabhead. But carry on. Dwayne Moore saying this season will be tough. They are tough one. Teams are looking good for the start. Yeah. And if we don't try to better ourselves, we go find ourselves in 6th or mid-table team. Our team look like we never played together. It makes me wonder what our training regime looks like. You know, we used to always talk about that, Nico, eh?
Yeah, when you finish.
Simeon saying Bruno hasn't been there long, but I think he plays harder than most and shows more leadership.
Yes.
Didn't play well, but plays harder. Yeah. Go ahead, Nico.
And that's the thing about today, you know what I mean? I think the result today would have come at a good time. You know, I think if we went closer to the transfer window closing with this result, you know, we might have paper over the cracks and say, well, all right, this team good to go. You know, but I think with showing the frailties now, I think hopefully we'll put more emphasis on players coming in and try to get those signings over the line as soon as possible.
But
Reem,
and some of this. Now, this is what I'm saying carefully. I love Rashford, but you know, Marshall, my family, and Greenwood. But tell me when any of them have ever scored 20 goals in the league.
All right, so this is my take on our front three, right? Now, people looking at I was reading a comment today on Twitter, and they were saying that Teddy Sheringham, was saying that Martial, if Man United have to win the title, Martial cannot be our striker, right? Now, I had to refer in commenting and debating with some other people. I had to refer to Liverpool last season. How much goals did Firmino score as their centre forward? Firmino scored in total goals and assists. Firmino contributed 17. Right? So my thing is the front three has to contribute together, and the team has to play. You understand? In a way that will allow your front three, your attacking players to be successful and get the goals and assists. Now, as it relates to Rashford, this has been last season was Rashford's best season, Martial's best season, Greenwood's breakout and very good season, and simply because the manager had faith in them and chose to work with them as opposed to trying to rotate them or criticizing them or dropping them if they have a bad game. So if I am to look at last season and say, well, whether this front three, or even if we were to add the likes of a Jadon Sancho to it, just saying, if I were to have put any faith in this group or this front three getting better, then I would say it have a damn good chance that these 3 or 4 could lead us to winning titles. That is my opinion, because I am seeing for the first time, the first season, where these guys were trusted and they were coached properly in the roles that they now hold, and they benefited and they gave us back what we invested in them, or what the manager trusts. You know, they how they say it, they repaid the manager's trust. So that's my.
Do you think we could win a title with them?
Yes, I
I'm gonna put it this way. If that is the answer is yes, have you ever heard any other team in the Premiership talk about the top 6, top half, try to even talk about buying any one of them? When you're a big striker, it's also a buzz around here about this team over here, this team wanna make a bid for you, rah. Especially teams who
I heard I
No
tell,
one
I,
asked for Marshall, eh?
yeah, but
Because
Callum,
no one asked for
Callum,
Rashford.
nah, you
But
can't.
I'm making up a story telling
No,
me
but
right to buy
to
it.
be fair, well, to Callum or to Fire Marshall, as Manchester United, we supposed to be going after the best players in the league from this.
Exactly. Well,
So simple as players like Harry Kane, we should have been going behind Harry Kane long time
exactly.
before he break out as right. Look, Son, right? We should have been touting
Exactly.
bring Son, right? At Manchester United long time. Aubameyang, when they had a contract dispute, it say, hey, we are no issues here. You understand? I mean, so,
Yeah, but Nico,
because if it was Dortmund and Bayern Munich, right? By the time a player looked like he looked like he's smelling good, that he had Bayern Munich,
I just buy off the bat.
all right,
Bayern
Nico,
Munich
so let me say something.
unbeaten, right?
Yeah, but let me say something. You gotta understand, while what you're saying might have some validity to it, we at a stage right now where we're looking at rebuilding. You know what I'm saying? We can't go
Right.
and buy everybody that, especially when you consider the inflated prices for people. Every season we gotta be spending $1 million plus, $100 million plus on a player. We
No,
had
but
to see what we have and build on who we have.
We need one top-rated international flat-out 20 goal season striker. I didn't say buy 3. I never say get rid of with 3 strikers because we have no matter what we do, we have to keep Greenwood. I would keep Rashford. As Marshall, I would move out because Marshall is the pinnacle of our attack.
Nah.
Keeping. So you will keep Rashford. I mean, Marshall and sell Rashford.
Yeah,
My point being,
I might do that too.
Marshall
But
is still wide. Marshall is on top. We need an out and out guaranteed 20 goals a season striker. I'm gonna put it this way: in the top 6 this year, right? The top 6. Would Rashford or Marshall go to any one of those teams and replace their striker if you were in another bench team? Silence. The answer is no. The top 6 are talking about it. The answer is no. And when the answer becomes no, then we have to realize we have to be real to ourselves. Even though we love them and the business to us as children growing up in the Manchester United system, we have to be brutal and stop making friends in football. If we want to be the best in the world, we need the best players. And we front 3 right now are not the best in the world, not even the best in the league, not even the best in the top 6. So we need to go and find the players who are the best, and we need a striker that could guarantee us 20-something plus goals in the league. One. And we had to get rid of one away front 3. And I say Marshall because he just
but simple as Jimenez, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jimenez from Wolves, right?
Yes.
Look Liverpool gonna get Jota.
Exactly.
Right? Look Liverpool gonna get Jota, and you didn't even hear about it until it happened. Right? But
Edward Wood had to go.
Why we not even being linked with Jimenez? Right? To me, that should have been Jimenez should have been at Manchester United, at least been out to them.
I feel Reem is like design and Reem. I feel like a designer. I was saying,
Achma, what's going on? If it's one thing where I see, if it's one area in our team where I saw the most development and progress over Ollie's tenure, is my attackers. You know what I'm saying? It's other areas on the field where I think need more work than looking for 20, 30 goal a season striker because Marcel gave us 23 goals last season. You know what I'm
saying?
In
the league. I ain't talking about
right. League
We're talking about league right now because
so goals and assists in the league, 23.
I ain't gonna assist. I'm talking about goals. I don't want to goals.
17 goals, and he was also 2 months injured.
I ain't care what that.
We had to put it in perspective.
I want perspective.
He lost 2
months.
All
right. And the season before, how much he scored?
Oh God, we went back under when he wasn't playing.
And before that, how much he scored?
I can't remember.
But what I'm saying to what kind of maybe get into is that we need some more competition within the team and more hype.
No doubt.
You know, with players knowing that the pick show every game, you might get the best out of them. You know, we might get the best out of the here this season, right? Knowing that Henderson will come next, we might get the best out of the here this season. But the players like Rashford have no competition on that team, and Rashford is right as as anybody else on that team right now. Rashford is as pause, but there's no competition for with anybody to take his spot. So he will continue to play Paul, and he will continue to play, right?
Yeah.
But you get somebody, right, who would challenge him for his position, you might see a change, or he would end up on the bench.
But you know what? And some of our great Manchester United teams. Do you remember it was Rooney, Ronaldo, and Tevez was on the bench, you know. Tevez
And then Boboto.
the guy game with, and when Tevez played Van Nistelrooy. Imagine my Tevez.
Saha was there around that time too.
Them fellas dying.
Was one of the greatest strikers in the Premier League.
No disrespect to Igalo, but really actually, if I should I watch who coming behind me, I could do what I want because Igalo is not a threat to me.
Yeah.
Our four strikers is Rashford, Marshall, Greenwood, and Igalo, you know, and most of the time Greenwood just playing in attacking three. So we have one reserve striker, Igalo. Now I like the youth, I like his story, I speak them a hard fame, but really actually that is not the answer to being the best club in the world. We're supposed to be going behind this Brazilian Neymar and them players, you know. I ain't saying that he might take him a fancy, but my point being, we're supposed to be realistic, not just in a joke, realistically attach this. I you know why I would go behind hands down and break the bank? I'll go behind Mbappe. I'm telling you, I'll break world record for Mbappe because these are the kind of players we need to revitalize the team. Because when we get Van der Beek, it's only because we know football, you know about Van der Beek, but really and truly, he's not a marquee player in the world. Van der I don't even understand why we buy Van der Beek because Van der Beek, Pogba, and Bruno plays the same position. Even though they brought him on today from
Pogba.
No, right, Pogba. I said the wrong thing to bring him on for Pogba. So why is saying? And then Pogba, I would said Pogba a long time. He's the biggest player, but he's not. You know, no think about it. Pogba playing about 60%, 65%. When you have a good game, he might give you 70%. Pogba, I haven't seen him give you 100%. You could say about coaches, injuries, using wrong position, whatever. Big players is big players. And if you use this big player, act like a big player and take over the team. The team is Bruno Fernandes' team. After we go see Rashford and Marshall playing. But how many times have we been left with, hey boy, Pogba boy, today boy? When last I get that?
All right. Let me get some comments in, fellas. All right. Nicholas saying they have been they haven't been getting service. They need to get the 20 goals a season. What you're saying is talking about the front three there, guys. They haven't been getting the service to get the 20 goals a season. No, we are now building this front three together. Joey is saying, I'm glad in a way that they lose today. It will let Oli drill them even harder. The season now starts. The front three will come.
When you go fight there, never again say glad my club lost no football game, my boss. Right. Nicholas saying, I agree 100% with Reem. The fighting me wrong by Nicholas by. but fair points to Callum and Nico.
Yeah, I think we need competition in the team.
Competition in the team is important.
I think James is no competition to Greenwood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
James is no competition to even Rashford. Even as Rashford is James is not.
I keep forgetting when we get James on. We get James in the championship, you know?
Yeah. James
you have Ferguson bring a player from the championship. He might learn not what the youth the championship, but Ferguson never buy from the championship. Because I think
you're right.
Which one are the big clubs in England? Man City or no? I wasn't too angry because of his age and thing. I said, he must be roll the dice and say, you know what, this could be future. They buy them early, why we get them? All right, fine. But after Daniel James' first 4 games, that has been it. After that, Daniel James has been found out and found to be wanting, and his game is not improving. All he wants to do is run. After that, there's no continuous crosses. His defending is substandard at best. He had a little cutting and bend home on his right foot. Now everybody knows that is one and only move. He don't even have it sharp. So what is Daniel James used to us? And we have to be brutal, you know. There's not loving on football. That been in the industry, you know. Hey, go try, pack it up, go. Let me loan them out. Let them go somewhere in the trade. Imagine we resign Pereira. You should have shoot all the on site. I would play me as a coach, I tell you openly, you know what? They go in the academy and look for one of them under 14 players and give them a chance. If I have more with and them had to go. You're wasting money.
All right, Callum, hold
Um,
on 1 minute there. Let me get some more comments on the
Yeah,
inside,
I'm
right?
gonna get back to this too.
Yeah, that is all right, man. We love it. We love it. Jason, welcome, bro. He's saying he agreed with everything the new guy said. I Callum, we
Yes,
talking about.
that smart guy. This is not rich, you know. You see, pick up yourself, man.
Jody say, hey Jody, welcome. Thanks for joining. He say, fellas, you all have to remember that United not looking for a quick fix. There's a rebuild.
What last win titles, sir, Jody?
No, but I mean that's the direction of the club going in. So you
I
have to
understand
appreciate
the
what you're
question.
doing.
When last we win a title?
Well, the last time Fergie was here.
Which was
7-8 years ago.
right. So what I'm trying to say is this: it can't be a quick figure after all them years Australian.
Now, but you have to realize even in the process after Fergie left, it had plenty mismanagement in terms of appointments of managers and then how much money they spend for the managers and then that's a
Yeah, but no, when we starting to do their reams, we starting to justify Woodward and what the Glazers doing, and I don't think we should.
No.
I understand, yes. No, what I'm saying, I understand it's a rebuild, yes, but the rebuild shouldn't stop by Bruno Fernandes, right? The rebuild shouldn't stop by Fernandes. We get away and now we use it. Right?
No, hear me out, Nico. I agree with what you're saying, but to the point what Callum make in terms of when last we win a championship, you saw what the team that Fergie had, especially the team that he win the last championship with Callum, that wasn't no stardom team. How much players from that team or that top 6 clubs would I buy? None, if not probably only Rooney. You know what I'm saying?
They start off properly. Into future reference, you do not just call my manager Fergie. I Sir Alex Ferguson to call everybody. Right?
Sir Alex
No.
Ferguson.
What?
But I'm not finish my point now.
Yes, but just right? Stop here.
So
call the guy right now.
After Sir Alex Ferguson retired, David Moyes now came in. And I remember clearly, after so many games, he was saying, I don't understand why this team losing. They won the championship last season. Not people wasn't understanding how good a manager Sir Alex Ferguson was. The man would have taken stone. The man said, give him Zidane and 10 pieces of wood. And the man would have win a championship. That's how good he was. So let me don't feel that Sir Alex Ferguson had 11 world-class players on his team. The man knew how to get the best out of sometimes average players, but he knew how to balance his squad. He would have had some good players as well as average players. So after Sir Alex Ferguson left, right, and Moyes took over, Moyes realized here what's going on. This group, I cannot make that magic what Sir Alex Ferguson used to do it. So he started to look to invest. He didn't work out. They sack him. They bring in Van Gaal. Van Gaal going and buy Tom, Dick, and Harry, and it still wasn't working. And then they tried Mourinho, another quick fix. And they realized the quick fixes were not working.
But if you listen to Van Gaal after, right? Van Gaal said the players that he wanted, he never got them. He said he got the 3rd, 4th, and 5th choice of the players he wanted.
I agree, because let's look at the example. Hold on a second, if we have a bouquet for you. Listen, Dave, we got cost of the program, right? Do with that. And good night, Mr. Dave. So, but seriously speaking, let's look at the 2 main rivals, Liverpool and not Chelsea, sorry, Liverpool and Man City. You would have seen over the years, even though they are enjoying success now, they would have bought players and when things work out, they move them out pretty quickly now. Look how many goalkeepers they went through before they got to the present goalkeeper now. I can't remember his name. Alisson. Also, they would have broken a world record when they bought the stopper there. What's his name? Van Dijk. Look, you remember how many wing backs this guy Pep went through for Man City? Is about 6 of them he buy. He keep buying to get the right one. Goalkeepers. Imagine when he came in, he had his vision and he moved out Joe Hart. England #1 was informed and said, no, there's #1 or 3 goalkeepers before you get Ederson. So we just forget quickly. We cannot support these managers would have gotten until they get it right, because this guy, football, what is going on tonight, boy? President Liverpool coach, Klopp, he didn't win the first or the second season. He came out mid-table first season, but what he asked for, he got. And as a manager, when you bring a player, it's a gambler. Obviously, better managers, they make more educated guesses. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting support from the board, and I will keep going back to Edward Wood, because as Nicholas rightfully said, I remember when I heard the coach complaining about not getting the choices. Even Mourinho, the man self, complaining about he didn't get the players he wanted. You know? And if you look at some of the purchases we've been made now, you can see we settling for players. Imagine them. I think we was attached to David Brooks from Portsmouth, and we was buying. That is madness. He injured. He can't make Portsmouth, and imagine our coach Ole also had to think about whatever this man boy. That way coming too. We feel Ole was the best player. Listen now, we should have been realistically just how Man still attached to Messi when he was leaving. We should have been at least realistically attached to them. No, I ain't saying we like get him in, but we all knew when they say Messi available. We all know if you go anywhere, they go Man City, because nobody come in Manchester. When the last time we get a big player? Bruno Fernandes was a gift we get, and because they wasn't taking them on, and we were going to pay the money. But when the last time we had a marquee player, nobody come in my way.
Sanchez.
This is a team program, brother man. But on a serious note, I agree with buying Sanchez at the time. And Sanchez was in some form, and Sanchez was looking. I don't have the Sanchez. I don't know if Arsenal team has spirit blue. I don't know what happened to that boy. I really asked, you never catch yourself again.
I don't know. I just and going based on what Simeon saying here, Ole will need more than Sir Alex. So if the board will not support him, he don't know. Right? Richard saying Woodward and Matt Judge working under Cameron. Oh yeah, behave. No, but I agree with what they're saying in terms of where we're supposed to be, where we're supposed to be, where we're supposed to hang we hat, so to speak, because of who we are and what we achieved in the past. But I guess the only thing I could do, and this is me trying to understand where the club is at. And I'm not talking about the Glazers. I'm talking about from Ollie's perspective, what I've heard him saying in terms of what he's trying to do. He's trying to rebuild, and he's building from the ground up. He understands that it would seem, and we've seen over time that the board not willing, because Nico said it, and you allude to it, the managers that would have gone before, if they ask for 3 players in order priority, they're getting the 3rd choice. So Ollie realized that this is where he's coming into. He's not the type to go on barrage like Jose Mourinho and coast on the board in the media. He'll sit down and he'll work with what he have, and he believes in his ability to develop players. So that's where we at, Ollie. That's where we at.
But
at the end of the day, Callum.
I have one question, right?
No, well,
I have one question. You feel Alex Ferguson could get any out of Lingard, could get anything out of Pereira, and could get anything out of look what I name. You feel he could get anything out of Lingard and Pereira? Ferguson or Daniel James?
You feel you get anything out of
yeah, Fergie win a title with Cleverly. If you could win with Cleverly, then you could win with anybody. Cleverly was a big player.
Anderson.
No, but Anderson was good in the Nico. Anderson just never show up in Man U. But you understand what I'm saying, Callum?
Anderson had the times that Man U and get through in 2008. Anderson was there. Anderson won a European Cup.
Of course, with Paul Scholes, right? You guys do nothing really. All you run down men and try to win back the ball and get Scholes in.
All right. So why Freddie run down the ball and get somebody who could play the ball? The football.
To get the same Pogba who you're saying at 60 and 70%, right?
Yeah, but Pogba 60% and 70% is 1,000 times better than Freddie.
No, it's not like Anderson giving us goals.
I understand what you're saying. Listen, our problem, and you're rightfully said. If I am a coach playing against Manchester United, my game plan would be real simple, especially for the under 10 teams, well, bottom half team. I would hold back, put 2 banks of 4 in front of them, well, a bank of 4, a bank of 5 in front of them, and I would put my talented players on the wing backs, but not so much on one Basaka when you're playing. I go in at Shaw, and I tell them fellas, just go and stand up. Don't send up between the 2 wing backs, 2 center backs, because Maguire go back here. once I'm in the love, you must get through. And in terms of Pogba, me play my talented players around, I play my two workers around Pogba because I know once I run in, and until somebody you take a yellow card for Fernandez because he have a tough glass ankle, and football done. Because once Rashford get to run, once Daniel James get to run, the only man you other wonder about is James, but once he get inch of speed, he will shoot on side. Not James, sorry. Greenwood. And Marshall have a thing every now and then. I mean, a game that's what the other day when he come down.
Every now and then, boy, you're wicked for your family, boy, Callum, boy. You're wicked and one of them, boy.
I understand but the Glazers' priority is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not United. And Woodward isn't a director of football. He has a financial investor, and United is the cash cow over the years. Again, almost $1 billion taken out of their club. This is absolutely correct, eh? And the director of the club, we have a loan we take to buy the club. And every time the club makes money, instead of paying off the loan, they may take it and pump it into other investments. So they have some agreement in their contract where they dividends or whatever they're supposed to get from the investment. They're not putting it back in the club, they're taking it and running. And as we know, if it was a real football club, they pump that money back into the example Abu Dhabi group. They may making no joke, them taking jail to make the club better. When you see what they do about them, they lost to the financial fair play. And although that we know the court of sport and arbitrary is boo. Them is just a rubber stamp. We go to the old TTFA discussion with that, but they don't match up United discussion right now. You know? But I will say in this discussion, I stand behind United TTFA. We're moving on.
Yes. Probably go talk about the TTFA and Trinidad football some other time. But guys, thanks for all the comments. Thanks for joining and continue to like and share the videos. We have reached to the end of our review. I think it was a very, very comprehensive discussion. I want to thank Fire Marshal for joining in today. You know, your input is always appreciated. You know, but I want to, any closing comments? You left Fire Marshal.
What do you guys talk about Van der Bleek?
Yeah, to me, excellent. I think his ability to find space and link up play and football understanding, football IQ is right up there. You know what I mean? Even if you look at his finish, it was not snapped finish that maybe, you know what I mean? Let me say that ball fall to Rashford there, we know that hit and hope. That was a real clinical finish, you know, so you see the quality.
Wait, hold on. Reem could decide he 20 goal that season striker.
Marshall is my boy, Rashford.
No, Marshall can get white too. Marshall get glad when he see open goal to it. Goal to it. Right? No, but composure, you know what I mean? You see that difference with his composure. A breath of fresh.
And his willingness to get into the box too.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, excellent debut. Excellent debut goal also.
Just as for me in front of Pogba. Which that ain't an boy. No, right?
You had a good game. Yeah, you come on and you live. I think if that goal didn't score, I think it had a possibility that we would have come back into the game. But I think that's that second goal that Palace scored kind of, you know what I mean? Take all the
third one.
No, the second one because
when the second one scored, the game was over. The penalty.
Yeah, the penalty. But when we had scored it was 2-1 for the penalty already scored. So you thought that we could have come back after that second goal. It's only when the third goal scored that kind of killed me off.
The third goal mashed it up. But when we was 2-1, you saw we started to play, so some confidence came back after the goal, you know, for Van der Beek. But against Lindelof, you know what I mean? Weak, not a United player. I don't know why they didn't sell him Barcelona when Barcelona wanted him. You know, I don't know.
Who is that?
About 2 seasons ago, that was Barcelona. You know, like the pretty boy footballers because most of the time they had the ball. You know what I mean? So
when trying to go boundaries up, but we can actually might want to minute because the way going. And mind you, Pogba's quality, all the fatigue and all of Paul Pogba is quality here. But I really no disrespect to Ole. I just don't think Ole are enough to inspire him because when you see Pogba for France, it's a totally different animal compared to Pogba for United. He's going through the motions for United. Doesn't see any kind of. You see when we play the top 4 teams, you know, so Pogba is always play better because like he's inspired to play, he gets motivation. So we have to find a way to motivate Pogba day in day out. That's what the top managers in the world is coming hand here. So you know, Pogba should be a consummate professional, and we shouldn't have to motivate him that way. But it is what it is, as Nicholas rightly said. He's a prima donna, so we had to work with the prima donna and get him there. And that is why I tell you, I would spend my money and get 2-3 big players in the team. So let Pogba know it's not only about him, because right now the big money business in the team is Pogba. He's the leader. And if they're a leader, that's why I love about Roy Keane. Roy Keane wasn't all that, but Roy Keane would fight you on and off the field. If you do get 100%, before Ferguson could talk, you have to fight Roy Keane. You understand? I mean, and when we say fight, we mean literally fight him. And that's what we need.
Yeah, I think mentality is a big thing that we're really struggling with as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of never say die, that kind of real old school, as you were saying, from the Roy Keane cut now, that kind of aggression. We lacking that real serious. Nico, as the referee here, Richard talk about it. He said, you know, it had a handball in the Arsenal game, and they didn't give it.
I didn't see it. You know, but my game, refereeing is perception too now, you know. And if one referee say penalty, and next referee can say no penalty, you know what I mean? That's just how refereeing is, you know what I mean? Unfortunately as it is.
But it is bring it down to the letter of the law. But then again, you always tend to think it should have some form of discretion in it now.
No, let me explain to you why it was a given. No, the new guidelines have given them in terms of where the ball hits the hand. They say once it comes from the sleeve, go down, it's considered handball. And the reason why the referee had to agree was handball, because the ball was going towards the goal. Jordan Ayew shot. He shoot the goal, and because of action from his hand, it took away the pace and direction from the ball. So if his hand wasn't there, it would have been a goal. So it had to be penalty.
No, but I disagree, because it was ball to hand and not hand to ball, because he was in a natural running motion. Right? So it's not that
I hear you.
His hand movement was abnormal.
Did his hand obstruct the ball from going to goal?
Yeah, but that could happen. That could happen. Because if you're facing the goal, right, and a player shoot and his hand was away from his body unnaturally, yes, penalty. But if I am running naturally and that ball hit my hand, that can't be a handball.
That's why I made the reference. That's why I made the reference.
And from so close, you know what I mean?
That's why I made the reference to Evra. Big players, when they get inside the penalty area, they put their hand behind the back and they run like that, because they are aware of these things could happen. And at the point in time, I'm not saying I'm not going to knuckle him off, because that was a tough one. The point being,
didn't give it.
Don't do things to allow the referee to have to make the decision. And that's why he's an average player as opposed to a great player. And I want great players. You understand?
Exactly. And I agree.
I think I get your point, Callum, but I think at the end of the day, it comes down, because if it could be called in one game, and if we're saying it's true and it's not called in the next game, then it clearly comes down to the discretion of the referee. So
well,
it's had to have some clarity there, because it's either you're saying it's the law, or either you're saying it's discretion. And if you're saying it's the law, then it should have been
it's not discretion, interpretation.
Because
as a former referee, just like Nicholas, me and Nicholas, why we so appreciate, we would have running battles after games, and know when we going on together about a call he would make or I would make, and we see the same thing, but we see it differently. So it's not discretion.
No, well, I'm glad you told me, because I didn't know you was a referee as well. So, but the thing about it is, if it's interpretation, it has to be based on something, and your interpretation can't be far off, because at the end of the day, what the basis is. Because I'm listening to Nicholas' argument and I'm listening to yours, and I'm saying, well, then where do we draw the line? Because at the end of the day, you could interpret something that somebody could justify, and then the next person could interpret something that somebody will question. So where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line?
That is law.
That referee? Listen, one man should go hear the same case, and next man should hear the same case, and one get guilty and one not guilty. That all your life is.
Yeah, law.
Interpretation. But what I was pleased about, listen, we as Manchester United, we can't complain about no penalty given against Spain. So we get some kind of penalty last season. I was glad for them, but we wicked. If we talk about penalty for Manchester United, we just say, all right, boss, and take it there. We shouldn't go about penalty, yeah? Get an example. Watch this one. PSV Champions League quarter final. Now, mind you, by the letter it was handball, but really and truly, oh God, as glad fit. But that was wickedness by the referee.
Yeah. I know.
But
Daniel James get one last season too, right? Yeah.
Look at it this way, Rim. Well, me and the customer know you're talking about here. Now, every game, a referee has an assessor, right? One who assesses him, application of the law, and so on and so forth. Any direction the referee had blown, whether he gave the penalty or didn't give it, the assessor would not be in a position to mark him down, because that came down strictly to interpretation of the law. And either which way you went, if he agreed with myself who said penalty, or Nicholas who said no penalty, the assessor had to give him the same mark for that call. Because he know, and then what am I to do? I might ask you, why did you make the decision? You saw Nico was able to articulate why he would not have said no penalty, and I would articulate why I would have said penalty. Both of us would have got the same score.
Okay.
So
okay. I got
understand how difficult refereeing is. But we got another discussion for another show.
But I understand what you're saying, because both of you would have just be how you interpret the law. So I mean, you'd have still be within the safety of the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does this give you? What we call what the term again, Nicholas? So how is make a decision? I forget what the indicators, the guidelines, stuff way now.
Yeah.
I tell you about the phrase.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure.
Basically, the factors that allow you to get there.
Especially like red cards, especially for red card decisions also.
Guidance. It's called guidance. It'll give you guidance, different guidance point to use to get a decision. You know, so.
All right. Hey,
what I was thinking about is this though.
Yeah.
That the EPL has decided to allow the referees to make decisions, because I hated that thing where you'll be refereeing the game and you get a call, you're going in your piece and they tell you that penalty, that takes away from the rhythm of the game as a referee. Yeah. I like the fact when there's a call to be made, once it's a subjective call, the call referee, listen now, we see something, go and take a look at the screen. Allow him to referee his game. You see that thing that's doing last season, where they're calling you and tell you that penalty and you have to give it. That's spoil football.
All right, nice. Hey, Kurt, I don't know why you always joining the review so late. Rian, thanks for coming, bro. I think the both the referees that we have on the inside, was very, very clear on giving us,
Yeah, but Rian was clear. He said rules are hand obstruction, full stop. So he agreed with me. So Rian was even clear.
He was to the point. He was matter of fact.
Yeah, he making sense too. Once he agreed with me, making sense.
All right. So guys, it's our next thing I want to talk about, but we over the time, so we might probably do that next review. All right. So it was nice having you all here, for the comments and the likes and the shares, everything. It was also nice to have Fire Marshal on the inside, So we could only hope that on Tuesday when we face Luton Town in the Carabao Cup, that we see something better and we see something a little more encouraging.
Phil Jones and Fred, boy, you will see big players come up for that
game. Yeah, boy. So that brings us to the end of the review. The last word goes to Kurt. Bye. I still forget all I was on. Nicholas forget the message here. Now what's going on? Anyway, guys, have a good night, and we will.
Yeah, guys, later.
Yeah, man.
Manchester United to the world.